Welcome back. You're listening to the USF Coaches Show on 1230 KWSN. Just had USF men's basketball coach Chris Johnson on to talk to us about their season. Now we're joined by Gene Brooks, head coach of the men's and women's track and field program at USF. Coach Brooks, welcome back.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Good start to the year so far for this spring season for the track and field team. Knew going into it that this was probably the program most equipped to make the transition. You started out with the meet at Mankato where you just mostly took your throwers, and a nice performance there. Talk a little bit about why you only took the throwers and how they started out.
Well, we were just getting back off the break, and it was a short week of training for us, and so we just kind of felt like in the long run it would probably be better for us to train a little harder that week and not have to worry about kind of backing off to go to a competition. But with our throwers, they really need any opportunity they can get to be on a facility and throw is really beneficial for them, so that's why we decided to do that.
Well, a nice performance there, but then really you got the whole team out at the Dordt Invitational. An awfully good performance there. You had 3 number 1 finishes, 21 top 3 finishes between the men's and the women's. Tell us a little bit about what you saw from your team, and as you started the season out, was this the way you wanted to start?
Oh, it's a great start for us, and and even this last meet, we were just coming back on the bus thinking about what our team had done, and the thing that's got me really excited is that right now we really have one arm tied behind our back, and yet because we have 20 athletes redshirting, and so the kids that are competing for USF right now on our team are doing an amazing job. I mean, to be pulling down that many top 3 finishes. One of the things that we do is keep an all-time top 10 list, and in since the beginning of the season, we've had 30 performances that have gotten onto the list or moved up on the list, and it doesn't even count people like, for example, Ashley Unruh in the 3K this past week, who she won the 3K and she ran a time that was the second fastest time in school history. I mean, we don't even count that because she's already on there at the number one spot. But anyway, that's with, like I said, half our arm tied behind our back. So that's pretty exciting for our future.
Well, talk to us a little bit about that top 10 list, because that's an awful lot of performances in 2 meets to make that big of a jump. Who's really leading the way there, and what records have started to fall?
Well, our throwers it's pretty amazing what's going on in our throws program right now. Of the 10 top performances, 5 of them are from women that are currently on our team. And Coach Elder is doing just an unbelievable job with our throwers. I mean, every week we're seeing PR after PR and just continuing to improve. And that is the part of our program that is probably seeing the most improvement right now this year, the event area, and so just can't say enough about what he's doing and what our throwers are doing to do as well as what they're doing right now. Also, just want to talk a little bit about Mel Krupa. She's a senior on our team and somebody that we're really going to miss a lot, but it's just inspiring to see her every time she gets on the track, because this is a girl who struggled with injuries her freshman and her sophomore year, didn't really see a lot of success, and I don't believe there were probably very many people that believed she was going to be doing the things she's doing right now, and she's it's amazing. I mean, she got this past meet, she got 3rd in the 200 and the 400, and she's our fastest 400 leg right now, and it's just incredible to see her peaking the way she is.
At the Dordt meet, Mel got 3rd in the 55-meter dash cross finish in 7:51, and then set a new PR in the 400 at 58.95. Is that something you typically see from a person who's been around as long as Mel, especially with the girls, where you see them typically at younger ages start to peak? Is that a normal occurrence for a senior to start to be setting PR still?
Yeah, I think so. In the college level, we see, just because of the kind of training that they're able to do over such a long period of time, it's pretty typical to see to see them start to, show improvements every year, and then really peaking in your career by the time you're a senior. But in Mel's case, I think it's even more exceptional because she's just the kind of improvement that she's shown and what she's doing right now. It's just really impressive.
Well, you also had a freshman have a nice breakout at her first meet at the Dordt Invitational. Connor Anderson got second in the 55-meter hurdles in a time of 8 seconds and 7,700. And she only lost to the best hurdler in the GPAC.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be awfully exciting to see a freshman come in like that in her first meet and perform that well.
Oh, it's really exciting. And Connor is a girl who, when we started doing our fall workouts, it became evident real quick that she had done a lot of work over the summer. I mean, she came in ready to go, and she's pretty focused and dedicated and trains really hard, and she has a lot of talent, and so it's going to be exciting to see what she continues to do. One of the things that happened in this past meet that was hosted by Nebraska Wesleyan was hosted at Bob Devaney was she won her heat in the every race she ran in, she won her heat, and so that was pretty impressive. She won her hurdle heat in the 60 hurdles, and she won her 200 heat, and then she also was the leadoff leg for our 4x1 and put us in the lead. And so I said to an email on our team, I mean, she never saw the back of anybody in that meet, all 3 races. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's an awfully good start for a freshman. Talked about the women quite a bit here, and they had an awfully good performance and have started off the season well. On the men's side, Blake Stevenson had a nice off season, got second in the men's mile, running 4 minutes 28 seconds, .35. Talk a little bit about him and about the men's team and how they're shaping up this year.
Yeah, Blake Stevenson is a guy who has really surprised us. Not that we didn't think he had some potential. We certainly did, but the way he's just really kind of come on fast in the last few months, and it's a result of the work he's done. I mean, he has been very, very committed. He's worked really hard. He's done everything Coach Heider has asked him to do in terms of not only his training but his nutrition and his rest and recovery and sleep, all of it, and it's paying big dividends right now. He also, besides that mile that I think surprised a lot of people, he ran an 800 this last weekend, and he ran it was a 155 something, but it was the 5th fastest 800 in school history. So yeah, and Blake has come a long ways from. I mean, he was nowhere even close to running these kind of times in high school. So that is very exciting, and it's going to be exciting to see where he ends up taking this, because he's only a sophomore, and that is one thing. We were talking about the development of with your distance runners. I think a little more so you start to see the bigger developmental things and gains and their successes later on in their careers. I mean, it's early in his career, so who knows what he might be capable of by the time he's done.
Coach, is it tough to get these kids? It's not quite like football or basketball where it's a team sport. Having these kids that have to be self-motivated and have to kind of undertake their own strength training and their own nutrition seriously and their own sleep schedules like you talked about. Is that a hard thing to get those young kids to buy into that?
By the time they get to the college level, I mean, they kind of have figured out what track and field is about, and so in most cases, the kids that end up coming to the college level to do it, I mean, they understand what it means to be a track and field athlete and the kind of training and the kind of dedication that goes into it, and I mean, at least that's been our experience, and certainly those are the kind of kids we're trying to recruit too. So it is amazing how self-motivated a lot of them are, but yet at the same time, I mean, I think they are motivated by their teammates too, and they see, when they see people like Mel Krupa and how she's not given up and where she's at right now, I think that gives other people on the team a sense of hope of what they could possibly do too.
Well, Coach, we also mentioned the Nebraska Wesleyan Invitational that you went to last week. Another strong showing, 7 top 3 finishes for the women, 2 in first place. These were teams where this was a meet where they were competing more against not just NAI foes, but some bigger colleges. Was this what you expected to see from your team?
Well, it was. I wasn't quite sure because I did know that there were going to be some Division II schools down there, and even some Division I athletes competing, and it was a very big meet. So I knew it was going to be pretty stiff competition, and just to see the way we ended up doing it, it was awesome. A couple of other people I should mention out of that meet that I thought had really good performances were, there were a lot of them, but Danny Moyer ended up getting second in the long jump, and Becca Stedman and Shelby Petty ran some great times in the 800, and then of course Ashley Unruh in the 3K, and so it was a really good overall meet for us. When I think about just where we're at right now and where we're going to be by the end of this season, there's going to be a lot more where that came from, what we're doing right now, and so I'm really looking forward to the meets that are ahead for us.
Well, as you said, it doesn't seem to come as a big surprise to you that you started off this well. Is that fair to say?
It is. Yep.
Well, looking forward to some meets coming up next Saturday. You travel to Spearfish to compete in the Dave Little Invitational.
Yeah, we actually had to change the schedule there. We're going to head to, they didn't get that corrected, but we're headed to Buena Vista, Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got some nice meets coming up here. Down at Lincoln, Nebraska, you're going to the Husker Invite. You got another Dordt College one, South Dakota Twilight. Are there, as you look at the schedule, are there any that jump out at you that you're really excited to take your team to? Well,
the Husker Invite is a meet that we're hoping to get maybe 20, 25 of our athletes into that meet. There are pretty high standards even to be able to compete there, and most of the competition there is Division I. So that one's really exciting to get into, and we will have some athletes there, and even some of our unattached athletes are going to be able to get themselves into that meet. Then I would say I've been talking to, we don't know if it's finalized yet, but Black Hills State has talked about on the 25th having like an independent type championship meet, because they are in the same boat we are with this being the provisional year, not having a conference. So I'm hoping that'll happen. They have a nice 200-meter new track down there, and that would be a chance for us to compete to do a team championship type of meet. So I'm hoping that works out.
Well, Coach, just one more thing. As you talked about, you've got about 20 athletes that are running unattached, and I know that I don't know how much you're necessarily allowed to talk about them, but how are they doing? In a season that's a little bit strange for them, I'm sure. How are they doing competing and getting around on their own?
Yeah, I think some of them may be a little better than others, because I think it is a little difficult to be motivated when you don't really feel like you're part of the team, and you only get a few chances here and there to go to meets on your own and be unattached, compete unattached. But on the other hand, I think they also realize that the payoff for them in the future is going to be big. And this is a year for them to continue to develop themselves and prepare themselves to step into, because a lot of these kids we're talking about are people that could step into the NCAA next year. And I mean, some of them, we're talking about potential Division II national champions, conference champions, and so that's pretty big stuff. And thinking about adding them back to our team next year, untying that arm behind our back, and then with the recruits that some of which we'll be able to announce on February 1st here, coming up signing day. We have some really awesome recruits that we're excited about. We add that to the pot, and it's going to be a great team next year.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to talking to you again, Coach. We appreciate you coming on.